Welcome back, students, to our last session of this chapter where we'll be learning about the evaluation of economic reforms. This topic again is not there in the syllabus. Economic reforms refers to the fundamental changes that were launched in 1991 with the plan of liberalizing the economy and for quickening the rate of economic growth. It was started to rebuild the internal and external faith in the Indian economy. If we had to evaluate the effects of these reformations, we can see that there are some favorable and some unfavorable effects of the economic reforms. Now let us look into the favorable effects of economic reforms. Economic policy reforms in the form of liberalization, privatization and globalization, and it increased the significance of the market forces of demand and supply, owing to which the determination of prices, wages and interest became market oriented, more realistic and less regulated. The stern difference between domestic and foreign investments also narrowed down. Now, certain noticeable effects, favorable effects are as follows. The consumers now could get different variety and quality of goods at a cheaper rate. The foreign exchange reserves increased because of the increase in exports from our country. With the introduction of FDI, the state's imports got reduced, because of which the debt burden also reduced. Large-scale investment increased the production and employment opportunities in the private sector. The factors of production, that is labor, capital, became more mobile within the nation and between other nations also. Because of regulations, there was more corruption, delays in decision making was there, inflexibility could be seen very often in policy implementation. But after the reformations, wherein we introduced liberalization, privatization and globalization, the implementations of these have gradually decreased. That means we could see a reduction in the corruption, the decisions were taken faster, they were more flexible in change in the policy making. Due to lack of capital, certain sectors could not get proper push, but with private sector's initiative, the sectors also got a momentum which were earlier either left out because of lack of capital or because of other reasons. Now there was no shortage of goods. Instead, variety and of goods could be seen, and the goods could also be obtained faster. Social and cultural ties with the other nations also improved. Costly technology which was earlier imported now could be it was reduced to a certain extent. So we could see that these are the favorable effects of economic reforms. Moving on to our next topic, that is the unfavorable effects of economic reforms. The new policies that were introduced also raised some social concerns in India. That is, the small and cottage industries could not face the competition from international companies, so they suffered huge losses. Because of the competition at multinational levels, some Indian companies suffered a setback as they could not withstand such competition at international levels. The subsidies means a sum of money which is granted by the state or a public body to help the industries. Such subsidies were gradually reduced, as a result of which the services which were obtained from these sectors became very expensive. As exchange rate determination was dependent on the market, due to which many companies suffered a loss, because now the market rates decided of the exchange rate. Method of foreign companies dumping goods, which means selling of goods at cheaper rate, also affected many Indian companies. The strict quality measures of the WTO, that is the World Trade Organization, posed more difficulties for the exports of our country. The infrastructure facilities were also insufficient to meet the competition level. and to cope up with the speed of privatization and globalization. We could see inequalities in the economic power. The production and the sale of lifestyle goods increased, against which we could see that the necessity goods were not produced in so often. Some people believe that the social cultural foundations of India are threatened because of globalization. So we have seen both the topics over here, that is the favorable and the unfavorable effects of economic reforms. Again, I am repeating, this topic is just mere for your understanding. Thank you.